We're going to talk about the number one today in someone's soul contract chart. So, we're going to talk about all the positive, negative things you need to work on, and then some tips on how to work on those things. So, we're going to start with just what is the number one in a soul contract chart? Well, the number one is a mother letter. So there's only three of those. It's the very first one. It's all about masculine, the crown, air, and the planet Pluto. So deep transformations. It's also the energy of Archangel Michael. It's if it's in a karmic area, or if you are in the negative of this number, you're not going to be able to access this like divine power unless you move to the positive side, unless you transform all these negative things and get to the positive side. Even if you have it in a talent area, you may still need to work on some of these negatives, mainly your ego. But anywhere it is in your chart, it's going to be very powerful. So we'll talk about the different places that it could be in your chart. So first, let's talk about if it's in a karmic area. This is a tough one. Some of the negatives would be that you're power hungry, obsessed with power, you're selfish, ruthless. It could also mean that you have demons that you struggle with. So you have mental health issues, mainly caused by that you don't want to look at your spiritual growth, or don't want to engage in any sort of spiritual healing. And another thing you may do is use your power to manipulate and control people to get what you want. So if it's in a karmic area, those are the things that you're going to struggle with. If it's in a talent area, so the goal of this number really is to dissolve your ego. And the good news is, if you've got this in a talent area, you have the ability to do that. You can master your ego, dissolve it, so it just gets absorbed by your soul. And then your soul is the one, calling the shots. Your soul is the one connecting you to everyone, all of humanity. It has nothing to do with your ego anymore. If it's in a talent area, you're also a service soul, and you've been here to Earth many times. Another thing, you can see directly into someone's soul. You can weed out all the crap, no matter what they're telling you, and you can look straight into their soul, and you know exactly what's going on. So for this number, that's one of the things that makes you a really great healer. Any type of like a therapy, Reiki, any type of healing profession, you would be really good at, because you have that ability. If this is in one of your goal areas, your goal is to use this power properly. So it is so powerful that you may find it, fun or easy to, like I said, manipulate people or things like that. But that's the goal of this number 2, is you have to use your power properly. And another thing you might do is become a healer or a teacher. If it's in your soul destiny, then I find this one to be really interesting. If someone wants to find their way back to God or the universe or spirit, you are the one that can help them. So isn't that a powerful place to be? There are so the 1-1 is going to be rare, because the only way you can get a 1-1 is if your name is 10 to 11 letters. So most people's names are going to be longer than that. So that's going to be rare. The 1-1's going to be rare. But if you have it, very powerful. The other one you could have is a 10-1. A 10 is also a very spiritual number. It's about balancing the masculine and the feminine. This 10 means you're going to have to work hard for everything. So that's one of the things that if you have a 10-1, you're just going to have to work hard. No matter where it is in your chart, you're going to have to work hard for everything. You also might have trouble landing on a career. So depending on where it is in your chart, you just might be all over the place with a career. Fun fact about a 10-1. If you have 3 or more 10-1s in your chart, it means that your last incarnation on Earth. So this 10-1 can be a real tough combination in this lifetime. The other number you could have is a 19-1. So a 19 is you, in another lifetime, you did not use your power the way that you were supposed to. And so in this lifetime, you're here to right that wrong and learn that lesson. It's another service soul number. And you also may be building a physical structure where people can come and you can share your knowledge with them, or healing, or for them to grow spiritually. The one thing that two things, I guess, that you really need to accomplish if you have a 1 is, like I said, you have to dissolve your ego. So that's probably your number 1 job, is you need to dissolve your ego so that your soul is connecting. That's the only way you're going to access this divine power. And then your soul is connecting to all of humanity. So that's your goal. Your other goal is to disseminate knowledge. That's your other goal if you have a 1. Some of the things that you can do to help. So if you're experiencing some of the negative traits, or if it's in a karmic or goal area or soul destiny, these things you may need to help you work through some of the 1s, the 10-1s, and the 19-1s. The first one is you're going to have to work on your ego, like we said. So one of the things, I feel like it's helpful for me, but one of the things is to really, first you got to notice all the ridiculous chatter, right? Your ego never shuts up, literally never shuts up. So first you have to just notice the chatter and realize this is not me. This is my ego. So once you do that, then, like, some people name their ego so that like it's some separate entity, which it is technically. It's some separate entity. So they give it a name, and then they're like, Sandy, shut up, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know why that name popped in my head, but I just say, like, shut up. I actually call it by my name, like, Terry, shut up. Give it a little bit of grace, though. Tell it, thank you. I know that you were protecting me. Chances are something really bad happened when you were young, and your ego has been trying to protect you ever since. And so give it the grace that it deserves for trying to protect you, but it doesn't need to do that anymore. Like, you got this, right? You don't need your ego trying to protect you. Like, for example, me, once I learned in my soul contract that I was supposed to be seen, I was supposed to teach, I was supposed to disseminate knowledge because I have a 10-1. Once I learned all those things, then I knew I had to do this, but it wasn't anything I could even fathom doing before. Why? Because my ego was trying to protect me. My ego was saying, Terry, this is going to be too hard. People are going to think you're an idiot, whatever it is that it does, because it wants you to stay in a place where it feels like you're going to be safe. And obviously, going out, posting things on the internet, that's not a safe place to be, right? So it really, really amps up the pressure when I do these things. But I just have to say thanks. I don't need your help anymore. I appreciate you protecting me, but you need to back off. And sometimes you really need to say it like out loud, like, shut up. I'm not entertaining this. I'm just not going to do it. You do have to heal from, like I said, chances are some abuse, trauma, something happened when you were little. And you really need to engage in the healing. It has to be something that you're really going to be committed to. And if things pop up, you got to, like I said, you have to commit. You might want to quit because it's going to be painful, but follow through and really engage in your healing. Another thing that people struggle with this number is mental health issues or addictions, because this energy is just so strong. Maybe things like Reiki, Qigong, some type of exercise that, like kickboxing or martial arts, is also great to get you out of your head. With this number, you need a routine and a stable environment. And I know if you don't have that, I'm sorry. I've been there too. It's a rough, I'm not saying this is an easy number. It's a rough place to be, but for this number, you need a stable environment. You also need love. You need to be able to have people around you that truly love you. Not that you're performing for them or anything else. You need to be able to feel like truly loved. And also, you're going to have to love your ego. You're going to have to love it and send it on its way at the same time. You also are going to you're going to want to cultivate that side of you that feels love for everyone, even, when they're pissing you off, because we're all connected. And so trying to be a little less judgmental is a good thing. Also, you may want to try some, since your energy, this is very strong energy. So you're going to want to clear other people's energy out of it. You can't have too much energy, right? So you're going to want to clear your own energy, which the Qigong is also helpful to do that, but Feng Shui is helpful, like clearing the energy of your space, having a harmonious environment where all the energies are working together. After you go out in the world, you may want to do some sage, just run some sage around yourself, sweep some sage around your place. You're supposed to do it. I don't do this every time just because it's a little time. Sometimes I'm just clearing out the energy, right? But if you want to do like a full clearing, you can turn on all your lights, open all your windows, and then you start at your front door and go clockwise around, sweeping the sage from bottom to top and just going all the way around your place. But again, you don't really have to do that. I think it's just important, that you're just clearing some energy out. Another thing you can do, I got this tip from my Reiki guy. He suggested, I have a lot of crystals, but I never really know what to do with them. I just am obsessed with crystals. But he actually said when you're just chilling out, watching TV or whatever, you just lay some crystals, especially if you have some like sacral issues. You'd have like one of the more like earth toned crystals, and you just lay it right in your in your lower abdomen, Or sometimes I'll use like rose crystals in my lower abdomen, or just whatever feels right to you. Depending on the crystal, you could put it at your throat chakra, or wherever. But just if you're chilling out, crystals really do have some healing, and they're all about energy too. So you might want to try that too. Experiment with your crystals. So you can also talk to Archangel Michael when you meditate, or just generally ask. I mean, this number is all about his energy. So just know that Archangel Michael is there protecting you, and he's there for you when you want to ask questions or ask for guidance, or just generally talk to him. This number is very important when it comes to that. Okay, so if you want to learn how to calculate your own soul contract numbers, I'll tag the video after this one where you can learn how to do that. Or you can also go to my website if that's not something you want to deal with. I can do it for you. So either way, but I'm really interested to find out what you learn about your chart.